The National Defence Strategy, as outlined by the Deputy Prime Minister Richard Marles, it includes more than $6 billion in additional funding for the ADF over the next 4 years and more than $50 billion over the next 10. Let's bring in our political editor, Andrew Clennell, to kick off some analysis this afternoon. He's been under pressure to provide more funds. He's done that today in that address, Andrew.
Yeah, the questions are critical in terms of it's not enough, Kieran. It is interesting too because there's a reprioritisation as predicted by many in the defence space. $22 billion over the next 4 years and $72 billion over the decade. And that's, of course, partly to fund AUKUS, which is a $53 to $63 billion commitment over the next 10 years. An interesting line too in the speech, I thought, where Richard Marles said an invasion of Australia is an unlikely prospect, precisely because so much damage can be done to our country by an adversary without ever having to step foot on Australian soil. They're worried about the sea lanes, aren't they? They're worried about the South China Sea. They're worried about China. He made that clear. And missiles and subs is seen as the best way forward. So, as you say, $5 billion extra over the forwards, $50 billion over the next decade in defence funding. A lot of that will be for various assets, equipment, and we can see there $11 billion already committed, as we know, to the Navy's surface combatant fleet, and then $38 billion for their investment program into capabilities. That makes up the bulk of the $50 billion. And of course, the other issue that he alluded to, very interesting one, workforce. They just can't get enough workers for the Defence Force. Yeah. They're looking to hire non-citizens, and he's making no secret of that. New Zealanders, Pacific Islanders, whoever they can get, they can't get enough labour in that Defence Force. So put to the Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister, well, you say this is urgent. This feels like we've been talking about this for the last 2 years, Kieran. You say this is urgent, but this is all past the 5-year mark, which it all is. He says, oh, well, that's the last mob's fault. They should have got organised quicker.
Indeed, and we'll go through a bit of the nuts and bolts with Gus McLachlan. He's a former Major General, retired Major General, in a moment. Andrew, just on the politics, though, because there was Richard Marles putting the heat back on the Liberals, saying you're stuck in the past with your commitment to 2.1% of GDP, as he commits to 2.4% of GDP going to the military.
Well, the fascinating thing looking forward over the next few months on this, Kieran, is are the opposition going to stump up? If they're still going to kick Richard Marles for building it up to 2.4%. Before the election, of course, they were saying Labor in office, they were in sort of the early ones in terms of their funding as Defence Force as a percentage of GDP. The government's called their bluff on that and made it 2.4. A large amount, as we know, is because of AUKUS and the continuing costs, $360 billion in relation to that. But you're right in saying it does go back onto the opposition now, because the first question to them is, well, are you going to lift that and how are you going to pay for it?
Indeed. It's going to be an interesting debate. And as we approach about a month away, the budget, Andrew Clennell, thank you for your analysis as always.